all multivariate systems are not like that. So I don't have to, I guess I don't have to emphasize on that very much, that most of the time multivariate systems are not like that, that you can reduce them to a one variable system without loss of generality, without loss of any further information. Okay. So today, so we will take our first step to analyze systems which are multivariate as they are. So not reducing them to one variable, but dealing with them with all the equations, all those equations together. So you can simply imagine that now my phase space is going to get bigger, right? My dynamical variables are going to get bigger. The trajectories will have more room to move, because previously we just have x dot and x, and we drew our dynamical trajectories. But now if I have more than one variables, then the phase space is also going to get bigger. And that means the trajectories will have a much more room to be flexible and show some different kind of dynamics as well. Okay. So if I want to deal with a very general system, what we need to do is we need to consider a multivariate system where nonlinearity is also there. Okay. But it is very hard to deal with all this complexity at once. So we'll take baby steps, and we will first deal with the simplest class of higher dimensional systems. Those are linear systems. Linear systems, you have dealt with linear systems from your school days, solving them with matrix method and so on, right? So today we'll start about our discussion on linear coupled systems, two-dimensional linear coupled systems, and see that how the phase space changes and how different those fixed points that we have learned, they can have different behavior. So it is simply by like dealing with a multivariate function kind of a thing. Okay, so you will see lines will become surfaces, surfaces will become volumes, and so on. So without much more complicating it, let me start our discussion. Let me just switch on my camera. I don't know how it will work. Can you see the page?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, so if you have any problem seeing it, just let me know. Okay, then I might have to record the class and upload, because I'm having some trouble with my camera. So just let me know immediately if you cannot see anything. So we are dealing with a two-dimensional system to begin with, which is a linear system. So that simply means that my equations would look like this: x dot is equal to, and y dot is equal to, two equations would be there. So two equations to describe the dynamics. Okay. So and moreover, it is a linear system. I am describing it as a linear system. That simply means that the equations would look like this. Okay, so ax plus by and cx plus dy. Okay, what does it mean? What does this kind of a system mean? So physically speaking, this kind of a system where you have just a simple coupling that two variables just control each other, you can just clearly see through this equation, right? It's a matrix. You can write it simply as a matrix form. You can deal with it. It's a very well behaved system, so to say. In most of the parameter regime, it is quite well behaved. And so can you think of a physical system that will work like that? Let me just give you an example. Okay, so the problem that is going between India and China right now, problem between many countries which are just neighbors, and they are most of the time they are engaged in a kind of love-hate kind of a situation, where as soon as someone starts gathering weapon near the borders, the other also starts doing the same. So if we just look at this equation, say x dot and y dot are how much arms you gather how prepared you are for war, how much you want war or something like that for both the countries. One is for India, one is for China, or any two neighboring countries you can imagine. Okay, so it will depend on two things. It can depend on how much hatred you feel in yourself and how much feedback you are getting from the other side. Okay, so this kind of a model is very much beneficial to see when you study competition between two entities, two companies launching similar products in the market, two neighbors having kind of this kind of arms, two neighboring countries, economical problems sometimes, behavioral problems sometimes. So this kind of equation very well behaved and very much illustrative depending on the signs of these parameters. Okay, A, B, C, D. Depending on they are positive or negative, you can imagine that how much X dot is dependent on X and how much X dot is dependent on Y. Or similarly, how much Y dot is dependent on X and how much Y dot is dependent on Y is given a shape in terms of these parameters A, B, C, and D, and their signs as well. Okay, you can put any of them as positive, negative, and zero, and you can have several different systems where you can see that how X changes with time, how the feeling of India for China changes with time, and how the feeling of China for India changes with time, depends on both their behaviors at that moment of time. Okay, and you can map it to several systems. I'm just giving you one example. This can be mapped to several systems of competition and cooperation, where you have two entities competing or cooperating with each other. Okay, so this is kind of the simplest model which we are going to deal with for some time now. This is the simplest example of a two-dimensional linear system. So as you can see that this kind of a system can be simply written in form of in a vector form, right? A vector-like form. So I can simply write that x dot, it's a vector. Okay, it's a vector x dot is equal to a times x. Okay, a times x. So where x is basically x by x vector, I mean x and y are the two elements of this vector for x. Okay, and a is the vector with the matrix with the coefficients. So a, b, c, d is a. So something like that will be the solution. Okay, the equation that controls the dynamics. X dot is equal to a times x, when x is equal to x and y, and it is a vector. Okay, it's a vector x, and a is given by the coefficient matrix, that is a, b, c, d. Okay, so let us start with a very simple system of a similar kind. Okay, let us start with a very simple system where I take this to be even decoupled. So let us just decouple the system to deal with a very simple model where I have B and C as 0. So I have no influence of Y on X and no influence of X and Y. So they are kind of decoupled, completely decoupled. So in that case, in that scenario, the matrix A will look like something like this. Okay, A 0 0, and let us fix D at -1 for simplicity. You will see you can we can choose different values at different times, but let us consider our first example where I'm taking A as A001. Okay, so this is the simplest illustrative example we are taking to understand this linear systems and the different kind of dynamics that comes into picture because of that. Okay, so what are the equations then? The equations are simply x dot equal to ax and y dot is equal to -y. Are we okay with that? Do we understand that by just by looking at this matrix? Do we understand that x dot is equal to ax and y dot is equal to -y are the equations?
Yes.
We understand that, right? Okay, fine. So that means they are completely decoupled, right? X dot is equal to ax does not have any contribution from y, and y dot is equal to -y also does not have any contribution from x. So two uncoupled equations, but from the same system. So they together they describe some kind of a system. So this is kind of a simplest model. So what will be the solution of this equation? these equations, both the equations, exponential solutions, right? You can solve them independently. X dot is equal to ax and y dot is equal to minus y. Let me just solve these equations for you. So x dot is equal to ax and y dot is equal to minus y. So these are the two equations. These are the two equations. So solutions would be x0 e to the power at and y0 e to the power minus t. Is it okay? So solutions for these two equations would be xt and yt, right? X dot and the y dot, the equations we had, we can solve them as a function of time. So e to the power at and e to the power minus t. This is quite simple. I guess you understand this quite clearly, right? So now let us look at the steady states and what is going to happen into these trajectories that we have in long term. Remember that though they are decoupled, they are the same system, right? They are describing the same system, just two aspects of the same system, okay? Two variables which are needed, which are essential to describe the system. That simply means that the phase portrait that I am going to have, okay, that will have x and y both now. So that is going to have x and y both present in the phase portrait. So let me just ask you that with time going to infinity, what is going to happen? What is going to happen to this system? It depends on the value of a, right? So if if a is greater than 0, a is positive, then we can clearly see that it is going to diverge, right? Because we have an exponential function sitting here, and if a is positive, then it is going to diverge, it is going to get to infinity, right? But for any values of a which is less than 0, if a is equal to negative, then in long term, what is going to happen? In long term, this for long time limit, t tends to infinity, xt is going to come and drop down to 0, right? Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but how it will come down to 0, that is the question we are going to ask today. So let us just consider first that this system that we have can have two kinds of behavior depending on the value is greater than 0 or depending on the value is less than 0. A is greater than 0 or less than 0. Depending on that, I can have two behaviors. Let us just ignore a greater than 0 for now. We'll come back to it later. Let us concentrate on a less than 0 because that actually gives me some very interesting behavior. So a less than 0 can also have three different regimes, so to say. First one is, here I have the coefficient as -1, right? Y decreases, y falls down to 0 always because I have fixed this coefficient as -1 in my matrix only. In my problem definition only, I did that. So that means y always comes down and falls down to 0. Okay? And that coefficient, if I call it d, d is equal to -1. Okay? So the value of a, is it greater than -1? Is it less than -1? Or is it equal to -1? So I'm considering this case where it is negative. Negative part I have already decided. Now, three different things we can consider. First, a is greater than -1. A is between -1 and by greater than I mean that it is -2, -3, -4. So I should not say greater than, I actually should say that it is less than -1. Okay, so three different regimes I can consider. A less than -1, that means a is -1, -2, -3 and so on. Okay, or a is equal to -1, or a is in the range -1 to 0. So in all these three cases, this could be negative, right? So I'm considering this case only where it is negative, but I'm considering three different variants of it. These three different variants are going to tell me that how this function is going to come down and drop down to 0. So let us consider the phase portrait now for this scenario. Okay, can you see it? Is it can you see the axis that I have drawn?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
so xt and yt are the two parameters. So you can take any point here. So those would be my x and y, x0 and y0. That is the initial x and initial y of the system. That defines the initial value of x and initial value of y for the system. Okay. Now I am tracking that how x is going to change with time, how y is going to change with time, and that is going to obey this set of equations. Now I have a is less than -1, so say a is equal to -3. So my equations are like x0 e to the power -3t and y0 e to the power -t. Okay, considering this condition, a is less than -1. So what kind of graphs will I get if I start from this point or this point or this point and this point? If these are my x0, y0 to begin with, what kind of graphs will I get? I will always come and drop down to 0, 0, right? That I can see from the equations. With time, if I put a large value of time and if I put a negative value at a, then nowhere I am going, I will come and drop down to 0. So that is telling me that 0, 0 is a fixed point of this dynamics, definitely. But how I am coming down to 0, that is also a very important question when I am talking about a two variable system, because in one variable system there was no other way to come. The only way was straight lines. I can just drop down on it as straight line because I don't have any other parameters there. But here I have two different variables. That what I'm trying to say is, if a is more than -1, then this exponential is a faster falling exponential than this exponential, right? So this exponential function that I have here must be falling faster than this exponential function, right? So this is my y-axis and this is my x-axis, right? So first I will have a rapid fall in x, but not that much fall in y. So I am going to have trajectories like this. I am going to come down and drop down to 0, obviously. But how I am going to come down and drop down to 0, that becomes different. Okay, so just imagine that I have two forces working at each point. Okay, this is x versus y. I am y in the y-axis, x in the x-axis. So two forces acting at each point, but one of them is stronger than the other. So that way the curve will bend. Okay, do we understand this graph? The nature of the curves, the curvature of the curves, so to say. Okay.
Ma'am, repeat.
Yeah. This.
So yeah, so you can see that the curves are the curvature of the curves. Okay, the curvature of the curves, which way they are facing, they are always facing towards the x-axis, right? So what does it imply? It implies that towards x-axis, the curvature is more, the force is more. That means the exponential, this exponential which acts along x-axis and this exponential which acts along y-axis, because they are completely decoupled. Because this one has e to the power -3 to begin with, the curves are all tilted like this. Curves are all bent like this. I can also come and drop down to 0 in various kind of ways. Let us just see this case and you will understand. So if both of them are equal, okay, if both of them are equal, then what kind of a curve do I expect here? I expect straight lines like this. So just imagine that I will be coming and dropping down to 0 only, because in long-term limit, I have both x and y at t equal to infinity as 0, 0, 0. So 0, 0 is the fixed point. But how I am coming down to that particular point and which way the force is more and which way the force is less. Okay, so the exponential term, if both these exponential are equally strong, then I'm not going to get curved at any point. I'm going to come straight down because both of them will vary similar in a similar fashion, right? the same, whichever way the x changes, the similar way the y will change. So if they are moving for changing in the same fashion, then what you are going to get is a constant slope, and you are coming down and reaching x equal to 0, y equal to 0, that is the origin, in form of a straight line. So is it becoming better or becoming more blurry? Do you understand it now?
Ma'am, exponential function, it is a decreasing exponential function, right? So
Yes.
both x and y are decreasing with time, right?
Yes,
So
both of them are decreasing with time, but are they decreasing in a similar fashion, or someone is decreasing much more faster than the other? That is the question we are asking.
okay, basically you are not drawing the actual curve of the x and y equation, but you are checking the variation of x and y with respect
time,
to each other.
with time. So I am drawing this curve where I am taking different values of this pair x and y for different values of time. So the trajectories I am drawing are basically time trajectories, and I am tracking that if I change, I start from a certain x0 and y0, and I go towards t is equal to say 100, then at each time t equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what is the pair x comma y, x comma y, x comma y, and I am plotting those values. Okay, so if if these two values are same, you can appreciate that they will decrease in a similar fashion, right? X and y will both decrease in a similar fashion. Or if a is more than a is more steep exponential, you have a less than minus 3, -5 or something like that. So with time, at the same time step, say at t is equal to 5 or 10, x will be much more decreased than the way y has decreased, right? Because it's a much steeper exponential. It is falling much faster. Okay, so that is why you have these curves which are tilted, which are not not straight lines, but they are curved towards the x-axis.
Okay.
So try to get a flavor of it, because this is the main point that we are going to discuss today, that the bottom line of this problem is that the fixed point we already know. The fixed point is 0, 0. So the system that I have, if I have a is less than 0, then the system is always going to come down to a value where x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So in one variable systems, we had only, a particular value x star given by x star is equal to say r, x star is equal to 1, x star is equal to 0, something like that, right? In two variable system, I must have a pair as a solution, x comma y, x star comma y star, something like that. That should be giving me a fixed point, or something like that. It's a fixed point or not. I will get a pair as a solution, x comma y, because both these variables are needed to explain the dynamics of the system. Okay, so I'm looking for the fixed point, obviously, and I see that the fixed point is x equal to 0, y equal to 0 at the origin if I have a less than 0. If a is less than 0, definitely the system is going to converge onto this fixed point, which must be a stable fixed point. Okay, but how does it come down to this particular fixed point? That is the question we are asking. And this does not matter in case of one variable, but this matters in two variable or furthermore variable systems, because depending on this way of coming and converging on the fixed points, you can categorize them, you can define different stability language dependent on this phenomenon. Okay, so just imagine that I have a table of x and y where I am, for different values of t, I am trying to write down those values of x and y, t is equal to 1 to t is equal to 100, and I am plotting those values for different x0 and y0. So for the first case, this was my x0, y0, second case, this was my x0, y0, third case, this one, fourth case, this one, and like that. Okay, so is this picture a bit clear now?
Ma'am,
Yes.
let's consider a is -5. Okay.
Yes.
Then the contribution in bending of the x is much greater.
Much greater. Yes.
Yeah. Then it will be more bent towards the x-axis, right?
Mm-hmm. It is bent
So,
towards the x-axis.
so here it's looking like it bends towards the y.
No, you just look at the curvature and you will understand. So in the last case, in the last case, this one, the kind of curves that I am going to get are like this. Okay, they are like this. So this is how you come and drop down to 0 if your A is something between -1 and 0. Okay, so the curvature is towards the axis that is pulling it more. Okay, here the y-axis is pulling it more harder. That is why it is bent towards the y-axis. It might be a bit confusing. You just think about it, give yourself a little bit of time, okay, and think about it, or you can just simply create this table. Okay, you can just these equations are quite simple. So you just in an Excel file, create an Excel file where you have these values and put different values of x0 and y0 and try to plot them. That will clarify your view about the system. Okay, so the main point that I want to emphasize here is that how dynamic the system could be, how different behavior of the system could be depending on your value of A. Okay, so these are the three cases that we can see, and these are all fixed points. Okay, and they are called nodes. In case of two variable systems, we call them nodes, and they are stable nodes. So just like the previous case, just like the one variable system, if I have a fixed point like x star equal to 0, where x star by x star I again mean the vector. Okay, so both of them would be 0. So if you have a x equal to 0, y equal to 0 kind of a fixed point, we call it a node. It is called a stable node. Okay, so this one and this one are both stable nodes, and the middle one is called a star or a symmetrical node. So these are all the new stability languages that we are defining for two variable systems. Okay, so then how do we define, how do we what should be the definition of this node? That if you have a curve or trajectories where you have a fixed point that is given by x star is equal to 0, then it is called a stable node. Okay, if the decay rate, for a very special case, if the decay rate for both the variables are exactly identical, then we have a symmetrical node, or that is called a star. Okay, so that simply means that it is not enough just to say that it's a fixed point. You have to name it, that it is a node, or it is a star, or something like that. You can name them depending on the way they converge. Okay, and we are still left with two other cases, A greater than 0 and A equal to 0. So what happens in case of A greater than 0? A greater than 0, we see that the y tries to converge, right? Y tries to drop down to 0, but x tries to explode and go to infinity, right? So can you just try and draw the diagram for that and let me know how it should look like? What do you think how it should look like for A greater than 0? So you start from any one of the points. You start from any one of the points on the phase space, and you try to draw your lines in such a way that y decreases with time, but x goes to infinity with time. What kind of a trajectory will that be? Y tries to go down to 0, but x tries to go to infinity. What kind of a trajectory will it?
Decaying towards x.
Yeah, so let us try to draw A greater than 0. this is my origin, x versus y I'm trying to draw. Okay, so let us start from any point that you wish. Okay, let us start from here. So x is going to want to go to infinity. Which way is x equal to infinity? Either this way or that way, right? This is x goes to infinity, this is also x goes to infinity, but y goes to 0 as we go down. So the curves will be like going down and then turning to infinity. Going down, turning to infinity. So you can see that asymptotically speaking, y is going to get to 0 finally, right? But x is going to get to either plus or minus infinity. And that makes this point an unstable fixed point, right? It is repelling again all the trajectories that is trying to come towards this point, isn't it? So we will we let us stop at this point today and try to absorb whatever we have discussed today. Try to draw your own graphs once again for the same system, for this system only. Try to draw your own graphs. Convince yourself that the figures that we have drawn are okay and you are all right with it. You understand it clearly. Then only we can move forward. Okay, linear systems might take a little bit of time, and it is really fascinating to see that how some simple equations, very simple equations, can result into some very beautiful dynamics. Okay, so today I will stop here. You can ask me any question if you have something to ask right now, or take your time. Just try to absorb whatever we have discussed today, and we'll meet again tomorrow to discuss further. Okay.
Ma'am, will you upload this lecture?
Yeah, I will upload this lecture.
Yeah, ma'am, please send the PPT file of previous class.
The previous one, na? Okay, I will send it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for reminding. I forgot actually. Okay, so we will start from this point in the next class, and we'll also discuss A equal to 0 case, which is also a very fascinating case. We'll discuss that, and gradually we will start complicating our system by adding the off-diagonal terms and comparing A, and now my D was fixed, it was -1. I will change that as well, and gradually we'll understand some concepts like neutrally stable, Lyapunov stable, this kind of different kind of stability. We will look at different kind of stability, and you will get to understand the complexity of the phase space that comes to the picture as you go on increasing the number of variables. Okay, so let us stop at this point and let us meet tomorrow again with the linear systems. Okay, see you.
ম্যাম পাইথনের ক্লাসের রেকর্ডিংটা শেয়ার করে দেবেন।
হ্যাঁ, পাইথনের ক্লাসের রেকর্ডিং আই উইল শেয়ার। পাইথন ক্লাস করেছি বোধহয়, হ্যাঁ করেছি, রেকর্ড করেছি, হ্যাঁ শেয়ার করে দেবো, দুটোই শেয়ার করে দেবো। ওকে, চলো বাই দেন। হ্যাঁ।